Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Anshu Mishra. I'm a board certified cosmetic and plastic surgeon practicing in Dubai, and today in this video I'll be talking about the two types of hair transplant procedure, that is FUE and FUT. I'll be discussing about the advantages of the two procedures and the limitations involved in these two procedures. So what is FUE technique of hair transplant? FUE technique, which is also known as follicular unit extraction, is a technique in which the hair follicles are harvested from the donor area using special micro punches, and then they are implanted in the bald area. Whereas in FUT technique, which is known as follicular unit transaction, a strip of hair bearing skin is taken out from the back of the scalp. The hair follicles are then dissected from that strip and is this then implanted in the bald area. Now the advantages of the FUE technique over the FUT technique: the first, there is minimal scarring which is involved in FUE technique, as the small micro punches are used to harvest the hair. Whereas in FUT technique, there is a whole linear scar in the back of the scalp. So if we compare the two in terms of pain, the FUE technique is less painful as compared to the FUT technique. There are even less chances of infection in the FUE technique. If we talk about the graft survival rate, it is 90 to 95% in FUE technique, in contrast to 75% seen in FUT technique. So FUE technique of hair transplant is good for those who have a tight scalp and it is difficult to harvest the hair bearing skin because of the tightness of the scalp. If we talk about the limitations of the FUE technique, then the maximum yield of grafts that can be obtained in FUE technique is less as compared to the strip technique. As the grafts spend more time outside the body, in some cases there can be some optimal growth of the grafts that can be seen. The number of grafts that can be implanted in one session in FUE technique is less, as the extraction time of the hair follicles is more, and FUE technique is more expensive as compared to the FUT technique. Now if you talk of the advantages of the FUT technique, then there is no head shaving which is required in the strip technique of hair transplant. More number of grafts can be harvested by the FUT technique. However, the limitations associated with the strip technique or the FUT technique of hair transplant is the scarring, which is more as compared to the FUE technique, as the strip is harvested from the back of the scalp. Now this is a very common question, that is the hair transplant procedure a permanent solution to the hair loss? Yes, the hair transplant procedure, whether it is done by the FUT technique or using the FUE technique, it is a permanent solution to the hair loss, because the hair are taken from the back of the scalp and these hair are genetically programmed to resist the hair fall. So once they are implanted in the bald area, they will continue to grow throughout your life. So in this video, I have talked about the two techniques of hair transplant, the advantages and the limitations of both the FUE and the FUT technique of hair transplant. If you have more questions, you can write in to us. I'll be happy to answer. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. Do subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.